Hello, everyone. Uh, Hi, my name is Garrison Anderson. I'm a marketing manager here with the Matter team, and thank you all for coming to today's Matter membership info session. With us today, we have the Senior Vice President of Venture Acceleration, who oversees our different membership options and programs. Michael McGarry with us, and he will be going over a little bit about Matter membership and the different services that we offer with membership and the programs associated. So I will pass it over to Mike to begin the session.
Well, Garrison, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm in a new room we just equipped, so I apologize if I fumble a little bit in navigating. Looks like we have 12 participants. So welcome. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll jump right into a brief presentation on Matter as an organization, as well as some of the different membership options that we have. All right, there we go. Our mission at Matter is pretty straightforward. Accelerate the pace of change of healthcare. We do that primarily through working with early stage startups, founders that are considering maybe creating an organization, creating a startup, and then connecting them to a really broad network of not only internal mentors and advisors, which I'll get into in a little bit, but also an external network of health systems as well as other professional organizations in the industry. As I just said, our core belief, collaboration between entrepreneurs and industry leaders is the fastest, most effective way to accelerate innovation, advance care, and improve lives. Stated another way, you just can't do this alone. No entity, no individual can do this on its own. Healthcare is a wildly complex, especially here in the US, wildly complex system, requires a ton of broad industry knowledge from regulatory to digital to data security, understanding how health systems work, how money flows through health systems. It's a really complex environment to build a business in. Obviously, the needs are tremendous, though. That's probably why each of you joined us today, right? You're passionate about what you do. But collaboration is key, and it's core to our beliefs. A little bit about Matter and our model. I'm going to start on the right side and actually move left. So we do have, we call our corporate innovation team. That the team there at Matter works primarily with forward-thinking organizations, large organizations looking to sort of harness either internal talent and spark innovation within their organization, or look to external solutions. And we run, we're typical accelerators. We'll identify a large number of startups that are matched with the thesis of the accelerator or the challenge that the accelerator is running. And then we'll narrow that down to a list of finalists and connect them with the organization. Second is a community nexus, and you see there's lines drawn between the two, and community is key. That's where we really bring together when we talk about collaborating. We have a beautiful physical space here in Chicago, for those of you that are located in Chicago, but we do a large number of community building events, industry events, both in person, but also virtual, an opportunity to join those in the way most convenient for you. Startup incubation is what I'm going to focus on most today. And here, we equip entrepreneurs with the knowledge tools they need to be successful, connect them to our network, connect them to our community, but most importantly, really, walk side by side with you on your journey of whether it's understanding, do I have an idea that's worth building a company around? Do you have an early stage company that you're really trying to expand, build your team, understand product market fit, get early market traction? All of those are areas where we provide guidance and support for you on that journey. I'll get into that in just a little bit more here in a second. So Matter was founded in about 10 years ago, 2015, and it's one of the largest communities of healthcare innovators. I can run through some of these numbers real quick. Since inception, over 1,000 startups from across the globe have been, part of the Matter organization. We have over 143 industry-leading hospitals, organizations. Those could be private companies, universities. Over $5.3 billion in capital raised across the board, right? So, and then, actively have about 60,000 members in our community, everything from entrepreneurs, innovators, et cetera. And when you look to the right side, what is Matter made up of? 65% digital health. So strong focus on digital health companies. Second to that, life sciences. Between the two comprise upwards of 85% of the members that we support. And then if you look at our partners in the lower right, we work with a lot of health systems. So 30% health systems, 25% are life sciences companies, 20% are associations. These are foundations and other organizations, and a payer community about 15%, and 10% universities. So a pretty broad spectrum of the types of organizations that we work with and collaborate with throughout the industry. In 2024, even though we were founded as a Chicago-based organization and really grew quickly beyond those Chicago area or Midwest roots, in 2024, to take a snapshot of the year, we had 272 members that we worked with throughout the year, connected with 51 corporate partners across 117 cities in 11 countries. So truly have become a global organization. We do have a really strong footprint in the Midwest, but as most of you know, healthcare clearly not only a national activity, as far as supporting our organizations and getting connected with not only health systems and customers, but investors across the country. But the U.S. market is one of the largest markets in the world, and so we have a lot of interest from primarily organizations, companies, government agencies outside the U.S. that are working to bring their solutions into the U.S. market. Mention our partners, 143 industry leaders that we've been working with. Probably a lot of familiar logos on the screen here. I clearly won't go through them all, but I'll just pause on this slide for a second to give everyone an opportunity to just kind of scan and get a sense of what are the types of organizations that we work with. And as you can see, these aren't a lot of mom and pop shops, right? These are some of the biggest names in healthcare, from the American Medical Association to CVS to Lilly and Pfizer, as well as leading healthcare academic and medical institutions, Northwestern, University of Chicago, Rush, etc. All right, member experience. Our approach, we really look at it in three general areas, starting from the left. First and foremost, help you build your business. Covered under that are really two areas. One is from a product focus. How do we build a product? And while we don't have developers on house, we won't actually support you in writing code. It's, are you building your business in a way that is scalable, sustainable, attractive to investors? So you're looking at the business side, but also from a product side, are you building a product that has strong product market fit? Can we support you with customer discovery, getting you connected to potential customers, right? Maybe not from the standpoint of signing contracts and generating revenue, but meeting with physicians, meeting with health systems. Are you solving a problem that the industry is ready to solve? Is there good fit, etc. Second to that, raise capital. Clearly, that's the fuel that helps all this move forward. So we have a pretty diverse network of investors that we work with, and you'll work to prepare you to meet with those investors. And then finally, gaining traction in the market. And that would be engaging our customer community, oftentimes health systems or payers, and building traction, getting that first customer into your organization. The typical journey for a member or prospective member to join Matter starts with an online application. We'll share those details later. If it's a good fit based on the application information that's shared, we conduct a short interview. It's usually 30 to 40 minutes, just to add some color to the application, get a deeper understanding of who you are as a founder, where you are as an organization. Do a quick review on that, usually takes a week or so. And then if accepted, there's an onboarding process starts with a discovery session. That's where you'll meet some of you'll meet more members of the team, get a deeper understanding of where you are, what your immediate needs are, the types of mentors you would need to connect with, some of the key challenges that you're looking to solve, right? So how we can align our resources in the most effective way to support you right off the bat. That's what the discovery session is all about. We then ask you to complete a roadmap assessment, a fairly short survey, but just gives us a detailed understanding of where you are on your journey, right? Is fundraising one of your key priorities? Is building your team one of your key priorities? Is understanding a go-to-market strategy or regulatory strategy some of the top priorities for you? Again, just by way of example, in some of the areas that we see are most common that members are looking to get support in. And then from there, we move you into the build phase, connect you to the resources that we have in-house. First and foremost, an extensive mentorship and coaching network. We break that out into 3 distinct areas. Our executives in residence, each member is paired with an executive in residence. These individuals have oftentimes, they're serial entrepreneurs, really broad industry knowledge. Many of them have built and sold multiple companies, and they become more or less your longitudinal mentor. This is an individual that you would meet with on a regular basis. Typical cadence is usually once a month, and they're helping really guide you through the journey. Second to that, we have our expert clinic, little over 100, I think we have about 130 mentors in the expert clinic currently. These are subject matter experts. While they may have some broad domain expertise as well, they're going to be individuals that you'll meet with on a more ad hoc basis, typically 30, 45 minutes as needed. It could be if you have a very specific question about a regulatory strategy or data security pathway, those sorts of things, we would connect you to the right experts in the expert clinic. And then, of course, some support from Matter. The Venture Acceleration team, which I lead, is there to support you every step of the way. While we do have a fair bit of expertise in-house within our team, our role is primarily to connect you to the experts we have associated with the organization. Fundraising support is a second area, and oftentimes one of the main things a lot of our members are looking for support in is oftentimes we have first-time founders. They're not familiar with the fundraising process. How do you get connected to VCs? What types of materials do I need? How do I prepare my organization to sit down and meet with an investor? And so there's 4 stages of that. Fundraising strategy, we sit down, understand where you are, connect you with some of our experts through our fundraising program, and just get a sense of where you are on the journey, what you need to do to prepare, help you or to guide you through some of the things you'll need to do to develop your materials. Oftentimes that's your pitch deck. You're probably familiar with that term. That becomes your invitation to investors, right? It becomes your story. It's oftentimes 10, 11, 12 slides, really concise, and probably one of the most important things you'll build as a founder, right? Because it tells your story in a concise way, but obviously in a way that generates enthusiasm and interest from investors. We'll go through a number of pitch practices. Those are more or less dress rehearsals. We've got a handful of venture fellows that are part of our team. They'll go through the pitch practice. They'll identify things not only about perhaps the pitch deck itself, but also your presentation style, the talk track, information that you should include or not include. Really make sure that you're dialed in before we do our investor outreach. And there we have in our Catalyst network, I think it's roughly 23, maybe a few more, it changes every day. VC firms that we work with in a very close way. Most of them have made investments in Matter companies. They keep a close eye on what we're doing. And we have a great relationship with. Beyond the Catalyst network, we've got about 270 venture capital firms in our overall network of investors. And when we collectively agree that after the pitch practice, all the materials are ready, presentation's ready to go, we send that material out to our investor network, and then based on their current interests, their investment thesis, where they are on their ability to write checks, the types of companies they're looking for, we'll get responses back and make those introductions as they become available. We have a wealth of on-demand resources. So in addition to the experts that you'll be working with, the advisors and mentors, the fundraising program, the on-demand resources are there, as it says, on demand. So there for you to consume at your leisure. Digital curriculum full of all kinds of courses and insights that kind of round out your understanding of what it takes to build a business in healthcare. We have our professional services directory, which is a list of professionals, companies, organizations that we have vetted, that we have we have trust in. They're reputable, provide great services. They offer a discount to Matter members. Knowledge library, a bunch of white papers, templates, forms, things you can use to help round out some of the materials you're building to support your business. Team Up, powered by mDisrupt. This is a little bit on silent mode right now, but we do work to help you identify where there might be gaps in your team, where there are capabilities that you would need to support. Oftentimes, investors, that's what they're going to be looking for. Not only a great idea, but do you have the right team? So we'll help you understand what that team would look like and think through whether it's hiring decisions or advisors you might want to bring on, those sorts of things. And then finally, our expert clinic. It's just a platform that we have available to make booking time with our experts convenient for you guys. We've talked about community a lot. The way we build that, we do member exclusive opportunities. This generally is in the way of webinars and other meetings, sometimes in person. A lot of times, though, remote. Even folks that are in Chicago, sometimes it's hard to get into the office. So, most recently we just did one with the American Medical Association on reimbursement and coding. So just an example of the types of events. We do a lot of events with investors. We hosted one recently with Class, which is a industry organization that basically does reviews of solutions in market, real world evidence, helps guide health systems in making their decisions. They have a really phenomenal program for early stage companies to get exposure through their network. Again, just providing examples of the type of events that we host. We do have our HQ away from home. So we have our space in the Merchandise Mart in Chicago, offices, meeting rooms, in which I'm sitting in one right now, conferences and event facilities. We can host upwards of a little over 100, probably 120, 130 people on site in the office in a number of different ways, be those classroom settings, event spaces, really just a beautiful space right here in downtown Chicago. And then our Slack channel connects all of our different members. A lot of times you can learn most just from other founders, right? Other folks that are down the same journey as you, and we make that available to you through the Slack channel. Membership tiers. We have currently 2 membership tiers. The Select membership, $400 a month. Important to understand they're different than a lot of the other incubators and accelerators that are out there. We don't take equity. There's no additional fees. It's not $400 a month, and then every time you meet with an expert, it's another $50 a month. That's an all-in fee, and it's a month-to-month membership. There's no 12-month commitment, so pretty low risk to get started and get in and experience what Matter has to offer. If it's a good fit for you, then it's just month to month. If it's not a good fit, then you can cancel at any time. Build your business with Matter. Basically, on the right hand side, the Select membership offers just about everything I've shared with you today. You can pair with an EIR, the expert clinic, team support from Matter, fundraising support, member exclusive opportunities, use of the facilities and the Slack community, and then all the digital assets on the right hand side, which gets to our second tier of membership, our Flex membership, $30 a month, same thing, no equity, additional fees, a month-to-month membership. Really limits you to, though, just the digital assets that we have. It's sort of a self-paced, on-demand, really geared towards founders that are maybe just getting into healthcare for the first time, maybe it's the first time starting a business. And so for a very low-cost way, get access to all of these assets that'll really help consolidate and streamline the information that you need to go through to understand, what does it take to build a business, what is product market fit? What's a cap table? Again, if you're looking at some of those real basic questions around what does it take to build a business, then Flex might be a good option for you. Otherwise, Select is really the preferred option for most members to get that hands-on support, get connected to, and have meetings with our mentors, experts, etc. And I'll close out with that. Our tagline, do something that matters, and we believe in that at our core. So I'll pause with that, Garrison, open it up, I guess, to questions.
Yeah, so we'll kind of have a short Q&A session here. Really welcome anyone to come off camera or drop questions in the chat to ask them. I do see one from Lid. Is the membership per person or team? Do you want to answer that one, Mike?
And Garrison, you can correct me if I say anything incorrect. It is per organization. We do have, if you're going to be using the space, there are some additional fees if you're bringing in multiple team members into the physical space on a regular basis, but more or less, it's a membership for the company.
Yeah, and I'll just add on top of that too, for the co-working space, if you're ever interested, if you're based in Chicago, to come and see the co-working space, we're going to shortly start a new series of just coffee connections and co-working that offers some free days of co-working, so keep an eye out for that. But if you're looking for a daily pass, it is $20 a day for co-working space. Another question here from Ellen. Are there areas in healthcare that you focus on? I'm building a femtech company, for example.
Great question. Yeah, I wouldn't say that we intentionally focus in any one. As I shared earlier, about 65% of our companies are digital health companies. So we do have a strong focus in digital. We run a number of programs on our corporate partnership side on women's health. 51 Labs was an accelerator we've run twice, Garrison. Yeah, and so women's health tends to show up a lot, but we do not intentionally segment or have any defined areas. So across our current members, we have about 153 active members right now. Really broad spectrum. A handful of women's health companies for sure. Trying to think some of the others that we see. Some of the hottest areas in healthcare right now are really around the services, helping health systems be more efficient. So revenue cycle management, billing, coding, those sorts of things. So pretty broad spectrum as far as the types of companies we have.
All right. Couple other questions in the chat. One person asked, how's the best way to stay informed about our events that we host? So I did drop in the chat our email subscription form. So if you fill that out, we send out a community newsletter about every other week that highlights a lot of the events that we have going on, both virtually and then in person in the Matter space as well. Another question here from Ro. The corporate partner list looks stellar. Are you able to share more about how Matter supports connecting with these partners? Do you have specific examples to share?
I think more examples beyond the list. Garrison, are they all on our website as far as like our full?
Yeah, so
list? Yeah.
Yeah, so our corporate partners are all listed on our website as well. A little bit, the relationships differ a lot between the different corporate partners, depending upon how we collaborate with them. You asked how Matter supports connecting with these partners. It can look a lot of different ways. A lot of the corporate partners run specific accelerators with us. So Matter members will apply for those accelerator programs and then have a lot more hands-on time with those partners. A lot of our partners are also within our expert clinics, so they are partially there to lend insights and support into the landscape. So that's another example of how folks can get connected. And then really as we sort of learn and understand the different startups that are in our portfolio and understand your individual solution, A lot of times there will be natural sort of synergies that we see come up that can offer themselves opportunities for connection as well. Um, let's see. Lyd had another question. What are your best success stories? I don't know if you have any that come to mind, Mike. But yeah,
Well,
offer
yeah, my
those.
disclaimer, I'm relatively new to the organization, so I don't have the history that Garrison you might have, so I might lean to you on the the historical perspective.
Yeah, I think there have been a lot of interesting companies that have come through Matter that have been uh, around for a long time. And there are a lot of companies that started out at Matter that are still going. One example that comes to mind immediately for me is ClearStep, which is sort of health system efficiency type of solution. They offer a lot of different services, but they start out at Matter. They went through one of our accelerator programs and won an accelerator program and then stayed on at Matter and have built a lot of great partnerships through the Matter community with different hospitals and health systems as they've kind of honed and fine-tuned their solution. If you also look at our blog, we do a lot of startup spotlights that kind of highlight the different types of companies that are within the Matter ecosystem and how we've supported them throughout their time with us. So just another example if you want to look up some more.
Hey, Garrison and Meg, thanks for this. This is a great, uh, informative session for me. I'm curious about how long do companies typically stay in the Matter program, the accelerator?
Yeah, it's a great question, Ellen, and it actually speaks to the design, right? So the intent of Matter is not that you're in Matter forever. We really focus on pre-seed, seed stage companies. Most of the time, by the life cycle of the company, if they hit a sort of a Series A, definitely Series B, we do have a lot of members, if nothing else, just that have achieved that stage. They stay on as members, but we have limited ability to support. Once you're a Series B type company, so. Typically, I think we just ran the numbers. It's about 28 months is the average tenure, so a little over 2 years. That we see folks stay on as active members.
Yeah, and I'd say there's also we're mindful of sort of the marketplace, and I think one of the nice things about the Matter membership is it is month to month, as it's been mentioned, with um, the difficulty in the funding marketplace. Sometimes people's runways become really tight, and maybe the membership isn't something that is uh immediately like able to be fun like budgeted for. But we do have a lot of members that maybe go away for a little bit and then come back on for a handful of months if they're working towards a fundraise or if they're starting to ramp up growth efforts. So those are just some examples. I'll address a couple of questions in the chat. I'll toss one to you, Mike, and then answer one myself. There was the question, will this meeting be recorded and available to us? Yes, able to send it out to everyone who is registered today. And then we do post a recording on our YouTube channel as well. And then Joseph asked if there were any examples of life science startups that we've worked with.
Yeah, I have to pull up our list again. I'm new to the organization, so names are escaping me at the moment. But we have about 20% of our companies are life science companies. Just had a meeting, Delphian Therapeutics. They're developing a CBD THC compound. They're just going into their phase 1 trials. I literally just had a meeting with them 20 minutes ago. So a handful of about 20%. So 15 to 20 of our companies are in the life sciences space.
Hey guys, thanks for doing this. Quick question on whether there's a bias for a certain kind of company, a certain type of technology, or is it just more of a fit thing across the board?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we have bias towards a certain, again, with the exception of what I've shared already, 60 to 70% digital health, 20% life sciences. Really broad spectrum. If you look at our executives and residents, you look at our mentors, really broad domain expertise across all areas of healthcare. So it's probably, I think where we see the greatest success is probably stage of company or where you are on the journey. A lot of our resources are geared to really support organizations in that earlier part of the journey, right? So if you're, first-time founder, we get a lot of folks, like maybe physicians that have really deep clinical expertise, but don't understand what it takes to build a business. They usually find a really great fit with Matter. Same thing, technical experts, folks that have maybe even built a company, maybe have had a successful exit in a different industry, right? I built something for fintech, and now I want to do something in medical billing, but they don't understand that landscape. That's where we see probably the greatest success stories are those pre-seed, seed stage founders, first-time founders. They're really looking to get a deeper understanding of the healthcare landscape and ecosystem, and sort of accelerate their understanding and their introduction into that, into the industry.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I'd say too, especially for those earlier stage startup companies, I think one common thing that comes up is product market fit, where companies may have an idea for a solution, but may not be able to fully put the pathway together of like, where does this fit in the marketplace? How am I going to sell it? Things like that. So I think the membership is really helpful in discovering those things and starting to build towards that as well. All right, I think we have answered most of the questions here. You can expect a follow-up email just with the recording and a copy of the presentation that we've went over here today. And then if there are any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. I'm gonna drop Mike and myself's email into the chat just for reference, and then stay on for about a minute just so folks can grab that if needed.
Hi, this is Joe.
Hey, Joseph.
I just had another question. I know you said, if we wanted to come and visit Matters over at the Merchandise Mart, how do we go about, doing that? Just to get a tour, or I don't know, even just getting that 1-day pass or something to just spend some time and see what's going on there. How do we go about doing that?
Yeah, Mike, do you want to answer that, or would you like me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead, Garrison. Any more details on that?
Yeah, of course. If you want to, you can reach out to me, and happy to schedule a time to give you a quick walkthrough of the space. But the space is open Monday through Friday. Our hours are 9 to 4 as our open hours. That is another thing to mention, I suppose, with the Matter membership portion. If you do become a select member, you do get a key card to the office space to have after hours access if you need a working space. So that is something else to be aware of. But if you do want to schedule time to come and swing by, I'd be happy to coordinate something with you and figure something out. So.
And do you have any in-person, like you're talking about those coffee hours or something at the space? Any of those coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, so we'll be announcing them probably later this week, and those will be in our weekly email. And then the first session is going to take place at the beginning of July. So that is the upcoming one. But if you do want to come in earlier than that to get a feel for the space, again, happy to coordinate something.
And the only caveat
Thank
there,
you.
and part of the reason we have a pause in some of the programming, as you probably just saw a guy walk in, construction-looking guy walked in just behind me. We literally just moved. We've been in the Merchandise Mart since our founding, but we just moved into a space on the 2nd floor from the 5th floor. Still some construction going on, and so we have paused a lot of our internal programming for the past few months while we made the transition from the 5th floor to the 2nd floor. But as Garrison said, we should be wrapping all that stuff up through the middle end of June, and then be, back and fully functional, in July.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for attending. And really appreciate the great questions and dialogue. And here if you need to ask any more questions and learn anything else if stuff comes up down the road. All right. Have a great day, everyone.